All right, we are going to be making barbecue chicken wraps today. That's another one of the 2 lunch options. And there's a whole bunch of ingredients for barbecue sauce, but it's all very simple stuff. I would guess most of you have at home. Even if there's maybe 1 or 2 things you don't have, you probably have the majority of these items. So we're going to need a 1/4 cup of vinegar and a cup of ketchup, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne powder. That's optional. You don't have to use that. It's a little bit spicy. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and some olive oil. And we're going to go ahead and put all of this into the pot here, and we're going to bring it to a boil. So you want to start with your liquids. Olive oil, sugar, and then all of our spices. Now you don't want to get this up too hot. You do want to bring it and let it simmer. So I'm just mixing it all together here. And we want to cook it for a total of 5 to 8 minutes. It's all on the recipe that's on the Google Doc. If you want to add bacon to your wraps, I really like baking my bacon. I have a specific really awful looking cookie sheet that I use only for bacon because it's just going to get more beat up. So you want to line it with foil, and then you're going to just lay your bacon on here. I've already preheated my oven, or I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees, just like it says on the recipe. And then you'll bake it for about 20 minutes. You want to lay out all your bacon slices. Depending on the bacon, sometimes you'll want to swap them around to make them fit on the pan. And you want about 2 slices per sandwich that you're making, or wrap that you're making. So I'm going to cook 8 pieces of bacon. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just cook all the bacon and then use it again later for some other whatever I'm making. Maybe I throw it into a salad or on a sandwich or on a burger. So in our household, we always can use up extra bacon. That's never a problem. So to cook the chicken, you have 2 different options. You can either cook it in a frying pan, or if you want to grill it on your barbecue, you could absolutely do that. You're more than welcome to do that. I don't have a barbecue we can use in the house. And then the other option is to poach it. And poaching the chicken actually gives you a very nice tender texture. So it's totally up to you. I'm going to do one of each just so you can see both. So I'm putting this one in this water. You can see it is simmering. It has little tiny bubbles, and that's simmering. You want to hold it at a simmer, and it's going to take maybe 15 minutes to cook through. We'll come back to this and check it with the thermometer a little bit later to see if it is ready to be eaten. The other way is in your frying pan. You want to get some olive oil, or you can use canola oil, just a little bit in the pan like that. And then get it hot, and then you'll put your chicken breast into it. And we'll come back in just a minute and show you how these are progressing. So you can see that while the chicken's cooking, it was a very juicy breast of chicken. So it's popping a little bit, so just be aware of that. We're gonna go ahead and salt and pepper it, and then we'll salt and pepper it again when we flip it over. It's been in the pan for maybe 2 minutes at this point. And you want to cook it until it's cooked about halfway through, and you can see it is not there yet, so it's got a ways to go. You can also see that the poaching chicken, it's slowly cooking, and eventually we'll flip it over. Okay, so this has been poaching for about 12 minutes, and I'm gonna flip it over. You can see the top isn't done. The bottom, I would imagine, is mostly done. I'm gonna let it poach for another 5 minutes before I get my thermometer involved. Over here in the skillet, I have the same amount of time they've been cooking, and you can see, if you look at the side, it's about halfway up cooked, so it's all white. So now I'm gonna flip this over. It looks great, it looks golden brown. That's because I only have this set to a low heat. You can barely see the flame. So, although you don't want it incredibly low, because if it's too low, it won't cook forever. It'll take forever. But you do want to keep it medium low. And then we're going to keep cooking this until we can check it with a thermometer in about 5 minutes, and it should be pretty close to ready. So if you guys have a thermometer at home, you can use a meat thermometer, any kind. You'll see that mine are both different. There's a million different kinds out there. And you can watch on the one that we're looking at right now that it is almost getting up there to about 140. Chicken has to go to 160 before you can eat it to be guaranteed there is no opportunity for salmonella to be alive. Now on this one, this is a different style of thermometer, and this one you can see is only at about 125. So we'll come back and take these out of the pan when they're at 160. However, if you do not have a thermometer, just cook it until it's no longer pink in the middle. And that's easy to tell by just cutting it open. So as you can see on the thermometer, we're up to 160. And so this is done, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the pan and let it cool for a little while. So you can see that I cut up the chicken bite-sized pieces. And because I did two different ways, I'm just gonna cook up this one here. What I did is I just put it back into the pan, and I'm just keeping it warm. You know, I'm not re-cooking. You don't want to dry it out or anything. But I just put it in there so it's nice and warm. And I'm going to scoop just a little bit of the barbecue sauce in. Not all of it. There's still quite a bit in the pan. And I want to coat the chicken nicely with barbecue sauce so that when I put it into my wrap, it will be evenly coated. So if you would like avocado on your wrap, you're going to find a avocado that's a little bit soft. You don't want it to be squishy. I have found beautiful avocados recently, and they're very inexpensive, so that's good. If you didn't see what I did there, I first cut to the pit, and then I go around the pit with my knife. Okay. Twist and pull, and then it should come out pretty easily. To get rid of this pit here, you're going to, did you see that? You're going to take your knife and you're going to take a hit like that right into the pit, and then you twist it and it'll pop out the seed, and you just throw that away. Okay. Then what I like to do is slice through the avocado. Don't go through the skin, just go to the skin. If your knife, you know, my knife's pretty sharp and it's not cutting through or anything. Just to the edge. And then you'll be able to scoop it out with a spoon when you're ready for it. So we're gonna do some very thin slices of red onion. Ooh, that's so pretty, look at that. And it says that you need about 1/4 of an onion for 4. You might wanna do less, you might wanna do more. Or you might want to do none. It's up to you. I love onion. So if you noticed, I cut it in half first, just right down the heart. And then I cut off the ends. And now I'm going to peel that outer layer. We did this a lot with regular onions. I don't think we ever used a purple one, but it's the same. And then to make sure you're making really, really thin cuts, you just pay attention to where your knife is. Because onion's great when it's thin, but it's not my favorite. I mean, I don't want to eat some gigantic piece of it. All right. So So that's really nice. Red onion's really good with barbecue sauce. It's usually on barbecue pizza. Okay, the bacon has been in the oven for 25 minutes and it looks pretty fantastic. So I'm gonna just take it out, set it up on a safe surface. This is a safe surface. And then you can get it off of there with tongs whenever you're ready to use it. So we're gonna assemble, we're finally ready. And I'm gonna get some of my delicious looking barbecued chicken here. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna put 2 slices of my bacon that is cooked perfectly. Check it out, looks so good. Okay. And of course, you know, put whatever you like. Some red onions, which will make it crunchy and delicious. A little bit of avocado, scoop it out there and slide it on. If you like ranch dressing, now would be a great time to put just a little bit of ranch dressing over the avocado. And I'm going to use coleslaw. You know, I just had this in the fridge, so I thought this would be delicious because, you know, barbecue and coleslaw go together nicely. So this is just a thin cut cabbage. Of course, you can absolutely use regular lettuce of any sort, and it looks great. We're going to just roll up the edges and, like a burrito, roll it on up, and we're ready to go.